Hello and welcome to the first FAQ Monday in a very, very long time. I think I only did maybe 2 or 3 last year. I'm gonna try to change that. You guys really enjoy these questions. I like these questions too. I just got burnt out for a while because I did, 350 in a row for years on end. So that's not the case anymore. We'll start ramping up some questions, as I like to call them. And if you'd like to support this channel further, please consider clicking the subscribe button down below. And with that, let's just jump into the question, shall we? You have to record an entire album with a single guitar and one way to get guitar tones, real amps, neural DSP, plugins, etc. What are you going with? An album? An album. Okay, so I have to record an album. I can use one guitar and one method of amplification, if I read this correctly. Also, what's up, Jim? Real amps, neural DSP plugins. I wouldn't go with a real amp because if I have to do an album's worth of material, I need to cover a whole breadth of tones and effects for that matter, right? So I'm gonna assume I can't use pedals, delay, and all that kind of stuff. I have to use just the amp or just the particular plugin. I'm probably gonna pick a plugin. I'm probably gonna pick, oh man, I don't even know what I would pick. I would probably pick something like Neural DSP's Gojira or maybe my ML SoundLab Fluff 2C plugin or Josh Middleton's STL plugin. Any of those 3 plugins, I could get an album done, no problem. Because I feel like I could get all the various tones that I could potentially want or need out of those things. Now, as far as a guitar goes, I mean, I would probably use either, I'm gonna give you two options. Either my signature Music Man guitar, because honestly, that literally does everything. Or maybe the PRS Custom 22 as well. I'm just right here. I'm gonna get them. Either this boy or this boy. If I have to use one guitar for an album, these are the guys I would probably choose between. First and foremost, how are you feeling now after the surgery? Hope all is well. Well, thank you, Joseph. I'm feeling pretty good. For those of you who don't know, I recently had gallbladder surgery. My gallbladder had to come out. The doctor got in there, and I've been very sick for since September. I've been really sick and randomly violently ill, and I was in pretty bad shape. But the only thing that would actually distract me is working, so I continue to just make videos, although it was kind of at a slower pace. And I lost a bunch of weight because of it, because I couldn't eat and all this kind of stuff. Now that the gallbladder's out and I'm healing, currently I had my 2-week checkup, my post-op 2-week checkup yesterday as of filming this, and I am doing fantastical and things are healing. I have a bunch of small incisions on my gut and they bruise, basically I have holes in myself, and they bruised, but they're healing fantastically. And I'm feeling pretty good. Currently I'm at 85%. And I still have to watch twisting and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to rip a stitch or anything like that. I can't lift amps, I can't lift anything heavy. But by the time NAMM rolls around, I should be 100%. Thank you for asking. Will there be another release for your signature Music Man? I need one. So here's what's happening with that. Currently, if you go to the Tealy Dan, the teal guitar that's a Sweetwater exclusive, I think they have 3 more coming in. There's 3 more left for those. And Music Man, now while they did initially sell out, the Sparkle one that you just saw in the first question, there's actually gonna be 3 made available on the Music Man site because 3 of the initial orders were fraudulent, credit card fraud. And so they're still available. So there will be a couple of more of the US made. Beyond that, there's maybe more planned of the import variety. Maybe, I don't know. I can't really say at this time, but you know, you never know. Thoughts on Dolby Atmos? Oh, I got some hot takes on Dolby. Okay. First, I will say that for stuff that's purposely mixed, modern new stuff that's intentionally mixed for Dolby Atmos, I think it can be cool, especially in a setting of, you know, cinematic stuff, which is typically where, you know, Dolby Atmos stuff is and lives. However, you know, orchestral stuff is really, really cool. I think big rock heavy stuff sounds strange. I mean, the fidelity is awesome, but like it's strange to hear the snare drums over here and the kick drums over here and the vocals over here. And like, I think that's weird. However, those are my personal opinions. But what I do think is it is becoming another way for the big companies, labels, and music streaming services, Apple, Spotify, to gatekeep. And what I mean by that is, you know, oh, we'll offer you playlisting if you have, you know, Dolby Atmos mixes uploaded and all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I don't care about Dolby Atmos when it comes to a regular, like, you know, big rock record or something like that. I don't personally care. It does nothing for me. Quadraphonic failed in the 70s for a reason. People don't care. And if you have to have specialized equipment to listen back to take advantage of the things that Dolby Atmos offers. That's not even my opinion, that's a fact. But I do think it's another excuse for big rich conglomerates to gatekeep bands and artists. And I don't really care. Also, when it collapses back down to a stereo mix, if you're listening on just, you know, non-Dolby anything, you know, the output is like really, really quiet, which I know they're working on, but like, you know, it's just all algorithm stuff. I don't know. I don't personally care. I really don't. It's cool, and there's a wow factor, and that's awesome. In movie stuff and home cinema and home theater stuff, it's really, really cool. It's really, really cool. Orchestral stuff, really, really cool. On a Meshuggah record, not cool. I don't care. That's just my personal opinion about Dolby Atmos. What's a current trend in gear that you're just not into, i.e. fan frets, Evertune, etc.? I mean, I wouldn't call Evertune a trend. I know what you're saying. You know, people forget I was the artist rep for Evertune back in like 2012 when we were just that little AB company. Now you see them everywhere, which is awesome to see. Fan frets, I don't know. I don't think that's really a trend. I mean, I think that's a functional thing, as I do with Evertune. What I don't like seeing is everything is so sensationalized now with any gear, especially in the digital realm, plugins, processors, and etc. I cringe when I see marketing trying to market any specific product that is like, oh, well, now you can get the results you want with it. You just need this thing, right? Whether that's a guitar plugin, an audio plugin, a processor, a particular guitar feature, or a pickup. You know, like when a pickup maker will release a pickup and they'll say, this is the most revolutionary, it sounds so incredible. It's wire wrapped around a magnet. And that process has not changed in 70 years. No, it is not magic. Now, are all of those things cool and can be beneficial when used in the correct way? Yes, of course. But my problem is these younger players that think, oh, if I get that thing, I can now get a good guitar tone. When the fact is, you don't need much to get a great guitar tone. You just need time and a developed ear in order to dial in a guitar tone or a technique, spending the time to get a technique. There's no shortcut. So I think what I'm saying is the shortcut tendencies of today and the marketing in today, and I am guilty of pushing that to some extent with my videos of when I'm hired to make a video of something, but that is why I am always careful to disclose everything at the start of a video, but also I never say this is the greatest thing ever. Nothing, like everything's cool, but like no one thing is gonna be this epiphany for a guitar player. It's just not. So that trend and the simple oversimplification of everything, I just want one knob. I want one knob. I don't care what it is. I just want one knob. The preset generation, that kind of stuff, I don't know. I'm kind of over that. I'm also over a lot of guitarist fashion, you know, with the long cardigan and the shaved sides and the ponytail pulled back into a, you know, the boots. But as far as the gear goes, like the Evertune and fan frets and stuff, all that stuff is functional stuff. So I don't really see those things as trends. But you know, I do. I won't be sad when, you know, the unfinished contoured part of a guitar and with the rest of it's painted super fancy woods. I don't really care about that stuff. A good paint job is still a really, really good paint job. So yep, those are just my opinions though. What are your favorite and most innovative guitar gear inventions in the last years? Where do you see the trend going in the future? In the last couple of years, I mean, it's been a decade now since it came out. However, I mean, I would argue that the Evertune bridge is probably one of the most innovative guitar related inventions to come out in the last 40 years, at least. Whether you like it or not is irrelevant. The fact that it does a thing, it does exactly what it says, is incredible. What's some other things? I don't know. I think the digital stuff has gotten so damn good. I think all the process, I mean, Quad Cortex, love it or hate it as well. Like that thing is pushing everyone forward and has pushed everyone forward. It got Fender into the game, right? So now you have a big company like Fender getting into that digital game, which was previously pretty small with the exception of Yamaha and Line 6. You know, they were the big boys of that world until Fender got in. But, you know, previous to that, you know, comparatively speaking, Kemper, Fractal, and even Real DSP are this big compared to a company like Fender or Yamaha. So, you know, any good technology that pushes that entire genre and industry forward is good, in my opinion. I also think the quality of the import guitar builds going up is very, very good. I think, you know, Squire's killing it. Epiphone is killing it. Cort is killing it with high quality guitars at a fraction of the price they used to be, even though people will always bitch about the price of a guitar. However, you get a lot for your money compared to 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. You get a lot for your money. So I think Fishman Fluent stuff is pretty innovative. You know, having an active guitar and having multiple voices on that same one pickup is really, really incredible. I think a lot of the pedals, pedal tech, and this kind of can go into the digital stuff, but like, you know, the new Boss Amp Sim cabinet pedal is incredible. I also think that a lot of, I don't know, everything's getting better and smaller, and I'm here for it. All the digital stuff is just getting so great. I think those things are gonna continue to improve, and in the future, you're gonna see a merging of those technologies within each other, and it's just gonna get better and better, and you're gonna see more cross-pollination, plugins going into the Quad Cortex and things like that, which I know they promised 4 years ago at this point. It'll happen eventually, but like the ability to have your plugin onto your actual physical travel-ready hardware, that's gonna be probably the next frontier. Any music, solo or otherwise, possible for the future? Still holding out for more Deathlike Destroyer type stuff. Yes. So I left Dragged Under in May of last year. I do plan on doing maybe some solo stuff under the Deathlike Destroyer stuff. For those of you who don't know, I put out 3 songs that are kind of like a cloud kickery, kind of a more droney, detuned kind of a thing. And I put that out called Deathlike Destroyer. And that was just as an outlet to the other stuff that didn't really fit Dragged Under stuff. But I'll probably put out a couple of tunes at some point. Studio only stuff I'm always into, and that's always an option for me. But as far as like a touring live thing, not unless I was hired by like A Day to Remember or something like that to like go and fill in for somebody. Like I would do that. I would be the hired gun, but I don't think anyone would hire me to be that hired gun. But starting over a band from scratch, nope, never gonna happen. I am done eating out of gas stations at 3 a.m. But yeah, but as far as studio only music, yeah, it could happen. What is something you think people put too much stock into when buying a new piece of gear? And what is something you think people don't think enough about when buying new gear, pickups, neck profile, etc. for context? Ooh, good question. Something that I think people put too much stock into is aftermarket customizations of any kind. Pickups is low-hanging fruit. You can get to the tone you want to get to with literally any pickup. You literally can. You know, I can make my R9 59 Les Paul sound the same given enough processing as my Music Man Stingrays. You know, I have always found that in a touring context, for example, I want all my guitars to sound the same because I have my specific patches and my specific sounds in a touring context. But in a studio context, who cares what it sounds like? You'll get there, right? Because most pickups today, most stock pickups sound great. They really do sound great, a lot of them. And I think a lot of players, oh, I'm gonna buy that, but I want these pickups, having never even tried them or even given the stock, whatever, a chance. I also think that people don't put enough emphasis on things like ergonomics and overall body shape. They don't try enough stuff to really have an opinion. They think they know what they like, but what actually works for them physically with their own body shapes and all that kind of stuff. People just need to try more guitars before forming opinions that they stick to for years on end. Also, I don't think enough people put enough stock into, you know, probably neck profiles. Neck profiles are very, very important. It will very much affect your playing if you have a big, thick neck and versus a very thin neck. So, I don't know. I think a lot of people just put a lot of stock into things they shouldn't yet until they develop their playing and their familiarity with the stuff more, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. How are you feeling mentally after leaving the band life? Pretty good, honestly. Being in a band that tours all the time is incredibly taxing on not just you, but like your family, your support system, financially. It's extremely tough. And especially traveling overseas and all that kind of stuff. I am glad I did it. And I feel like I really went and did it at a high level. I signed the record deal, I signed the publishing deal. I went and played all the big festivals in Europe and England and all that kind of stuff. And I really feel like 16-year-old me would be really proud of what I have done. And because I genuinely feel that way, it's the easiest thing in the world to just walk away. And that's what I did. And I'm mentally in a very, very good spot, especially now having been on the other side of this gallbladder surgery that I just talked about earlier. So having my health good and my mental health good is ultimately a very, very healthy place to be. Is there anyone you would like to get on a beer chat? So yes, there's tons of people I would like to get on a beer chat. I've not said anything about this publicly. I am starting a podcast with my brother Hans Hesberg, former bassist of Dragged Under. Him and I are going to be doing a podcast you'll probably see it in the next month or two. We're working on a podcast, like a real high level, legit, filmed in person podcast, and it's going to be awesome. I can't tell you much about it yet, but you will know about it. I will tell you guys on this channel about it. But yes, the beer chat stuff I very much enjoy. And so that has kind of led to him and I doing a legit music industry related podcast. It's gonna be cool. But is there anyone I would like to get on beer chat? There's loads of people I would love to get on beer chat. Pierce the Veil guys, the Used guys, the Beartooth guys. I mean, literally Devin Townsend, Rabia, Ola, Keith. Yeah, stay tuned. Podcast coming. What advice would you give to a band that's trying to expand their name? Write better songs. Bring in outside people to help you with your songs. You know, the old idea of, oh, this band does everything themselves is a pretty dead one if you want to maximize the, I don't know, the worth of your song. Your song can always be better. Any song can always be better. And having outside perspective come in and work with you and produce the song to take it to the next level is more beneficial than you think. For my band, or my former band, Dragged Under, you know, our early breaks, people kept thinking like, oh, you're running onto this tour or you're getting all these, you know, all this help, this industry help, whatever. You know, Joey from The Used was our manager, for example. It was literally people hearing our songs and going, I was humming this song in the shower. Can we help you? Can we sign you? You want to sign a record deal with us? Can we give you a publishing deal? These songs are incredible. That was literally it. We never bought on to a tour the entire time I was in the band. And it was just people hearing the songs going, wow, I want to work with you. These songs are so sick. That's the kind of impact you only have one chance to make with anybody listening to your music for the first time. So that is why you should always bring in an outside producer or songwriter, someone to help you polish what you have already started as a seed of a song. And therefore, better songs will lead to playlisting and people sharing your stuff. It just goes on up from there, but write better songs if you want to be a bigger, better band. And that does it for this episode of FAQ Mondays. Thanks for hanging out, guys. If you have another question that you would like to see on a future episode, leave it down below in the comments. And while you're down there, please consider giving me a subscribe. And with that, you've been wonderful. I've been Fluff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.